This is, maybe you've heard this before. My name is John Forrester. I talk about change and growth and how to cope, I guess, with people in your life who are difficult or causing issues for you or want to cause issues for you or are showing you their anger, or you're a kid and your dad's pissed off or your mom's upset or your whatever. A lot of the time that's not about you, and we end up taking it personally, and we go through our lives taking our dad being angry at us personally, and it affects our relationships. So instead of taking it personally, your dad's probably going to yell, and you can you can walk away, you can listen, you can ignore. You don't have to engage with more anger. Now it's different in what birth order you're in, because if you decide, if you're the oldest, you're going to have more pent up anger than you are if you're the youngest, because the oldest has seen more and the oldest has been through more, and you can't expect your parents to change. You can't expect anyone to change. You can try to help people and you can try to make them better, but you cannot change them. Now, let's just say your dad's a drunk lunatic, so maybe you stay away from him when he's drunk, or maybe you don't engage, or maybe it's just you just listen, and maybe, that's all you can do, because we like to engage and we like to be right and we like to be, and maybe that's where you learn to be wrong, and you learn that it's okay that maybe I'm not right, and you don't have to be right. Now, that doesn't mean that your dad being an asshole is the way to do it, or that it's okay for your dad to, it's not okay. And the let's just say your parents are still together. Your mom probably knows, and she probably doesn't want to leave because she's scared for you guys. And she's going to stay because she thinks that you are going to be affected negatively if there's a divorce, because she doesn't want to have a broken home, or she doesn't want to have this, or she doesn't want to have that, or I'm scared of what your father will do to me. But if you were to go to your mom and say, hey mom, can we talk about dad? Or hey dad, can we talk about mom? Because it's not like your parents don't know. Just because they're ignoring it and acting like it doesn't exist doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And it doesn't mean that it isn't real. And sometimes we have to point shit out. And yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say, hey mom, you're kind of a lunatic, to your mom, especially if she's a single mom, because then she's going to get into this tangent about, I'm a single mom. I can't believe you would say that. And then it's like, well, but I'm not attacking you. I'm literally trying to have a discussion with you about things that are affecting me. And maybe you have to have it 15 times before your mom's like, oh yeah, maybe I do need to change. But you can't make anybody change. You can only change yourself. You can only change who you are. And you shouldn't change who you are. You should be unapologetically yourself. And what does that look like? What does your self look like? A lot of us don't know. A lot of us have no idea what our self looks like. Because we're running from it, because we're so scared, because we were shown by our parents that our self isn't something to be revered and loved. Our self is something to be scared of, and we're supposed to be terrified, and we're supposed to run away, and we're supposed to not take the time to work on ourselves, and we're supposed to have a family, and we're supposed to stay together, and we're supposed to do all this fucking bullshit because everybody thinks that it's super important to have this family where it's a nuclear family, but it doesn't exist, because all you're doing is being miserable, being angry, and being upset, and force feeding everything that isn't real to your kids and to the world. Like, if you want to get beauty, you have to put beauty out. You can't just be a beautiful person and go through life and be miserable. You can't do it. You can be miserable, but you're going to be miserable, and everybody around you is probably going to be miserable. And you can't expect everyone to change. There's no, you can't expect these people to change unless the only person that you can change is you. And when you start changing, things start changing. Things start going in different directions, and you never know who's going to show up in your life to help you. But you have to be open to getting the help. You have to be open to the experience. You have to be open to the giving love and receiving love. Because if you can't receive love and you can only receive anger, that's all you're going to get. All you're going to get is pain and sorrow and difficulties. And if you want to be angry, that's what you're going to get. And you don't have, it's a choice, right? We have a choice. So your parents yelling at you constantly over something that's out of your control. Let's say you're in a team sport, right? And your parents really like to win. And they don't understand that you can't win everything in a team sport. So you can try to explain that to them, or you can just ignore them and let them go on their little tangent and just ignore it and think about something different and say, yep, sure. Or you can fight back, and you can try to fight back against the system or the parents or whatever it is. You can try to change your parents. It really doesn't work. Now, sometimes your parents will be open to change and they'll be like, oh, well, this was wrong of me. But that's usually later on, because most parents and adults don't understand that they're just recycling generational trauma. You're just recycling the shit that your parents showed you that wasn't correct. It was wrong. And sometimes your kids don't even believe you that you have changed, or that you are changing, or that you are sorry for the things that you showed them, because they're like, well, you were right. Well, no, I was an asshole, or no, I was a wonderful parent, or no, I was terrible, or no, whatever your parents are going to think. But have the conversation at some point. You can have it with your rational, you probably have a rational parent, more than likely, unless you're only living with one parent and that parent is insane and you never see the other parent. Then you don't have a rational parent, and then you should try to talk to somebody. Try to tell somebody what's going on with you. Try to talk about it with anybody. Because sometimes people understand and sometimes people, but the only person at the end of the day that you can help is yourself. Your mom, your dad, anybody in your life. They are going to sometimes treat you like shit, and that's okay. It's not okay. I don't mean it like that. That's just the way it is. There's nothing you can do about it, especially if you're 12 and your dad, all he does is drink and yell at you and expect you to be perfect. You can't be perfect. It's not possible, and that's about your dad. It has nothing to do with you. And sometimes you just have to walk away, or sometimes you just have to acknowledge that your dad is not going to see you a lot when you get to be older, because you don't want to facilitate that relationship, or you don't want to be the person who is doing that stuff. You don't want to be a part of that life anymore, and that's okay. You can do that. And maybe then your parents will realize that, and maybe they won't. Maybe they'll still, well, I'm paying for this. Well, no, you aren't. Like, that's all that's keeping me here is you paying for something? No, I don't need this shit. I'm good. I'll figure it out. And maybe I don't go to college right now. Maybe I go get a job, and maybe I wait, and maybe my life changes because of this. But the fact that we as human beings are trying to hold on to things that have been broken for 25 or 30 years. We're trying to hold on to relationships because of a bunch of stuff, because we don't want our kids to be fucked up. Well, your kids are getting fucked up. Honestly, your kids are getting screwed up every day that you're still miserable, because you're passing all that misery down to your kids. Well, what will the neighbors think? who gives a shit what the neighbors think? The neighbors are assholes. And they don't live your life. You live your life. So you have to go out and live your life and do the things that you want to do instead of being a miserable asshole. Because that is basically what we're becoming, is miserable people who don't do the things that we want to do because we're miserable. Thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to hear about. Give me some. Yeah. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.